Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you so much, Mayor Tate, for your really inspiring words and experience. Let's thank him again. It's such an honor to have you here and to reflect on where we are as a city with respect to kindness. At our City Council public forum last week, 53 members of the public testified on a wide range of topics, from the impacts of homelessness to the urgency of climate change. As I listened to all of these impassioned and urgent concerns, I felt hopeful. These individuals are giving up a pleasant evening at home to share their concerns because they care. They are speaking in the spirit of creating a better community. People are speaking out of a depth of kindness. They are pleading with us as a government to respond in kind. When I review the programs that the City of Eugene includes as acts of kindness, I am struck by this fact. There is no shortage of kindness in our city. Right? People care and act on their compassion. We have one of the highest per capita number of nonprofits in the country. We are a leader in investing in creative, agile, outside-of-the-box solutions to homelessness. We repeatedly pass school bonds to invest in our children. We lead the way in improving accessibility for people who are disabled. That said, the intention of kindness is not always apparent. My commitment to a city of kindness is a commitment to raise the level of intentionality. In the best of circumstances, kindness is reflexive. In the worst, it is the furthest thing from your mind. We are seeking ways to reinforce the intention. We are living in turbulent times. Repeated traumas to our sense of well-being trigger protective, often defensive reactions. Some of this comes to us from the national dialogue, which has fostered a sense that if you don't agree with someone, they are either stupid or dangerous. Some years ago, I was at odds with my neighbor with whom I share a driveway. One day, we were in the midst of a tense conversation, and I commented, "If the two of us who speak the same language, hail from the same culture, and share a love of the same landscape, cannot find a way to work this out, there will never be peace in the Middle East." We can't solve the big problems if we don't start with the personal and the local. Eugene is poised to welcome the world in August of 2021 when we host the IAAF World Track and Field Championships. We are being intentional in our preparation for that event. Our intention is to do the good work we should do for our community anyway, to make investments that will stand as a legacy. Kindness is that legacy. My goal is for our community to embrace all of the communities within our city. A Latina businesswoman said to me not long ago that too often she sits in a room of white faces and hesitates to speak her mind as the only person of color at the table. Our legacy is to change that experience. How do we not simply say we are inclusive, but act on inclusion? What does that require from us, personally and collectively? One part of the city's work on climate change included the creation of an equity panel to enable the voices of communities of color to share their experiences and challenges. These are voices that are not heard often enough in our public discourse. Our promise to this panel is that we will do more than simply hear their voices. We will pay attention. We will return with action and hold ourselves accountable. Paying attention is a key ingredient of kindness. It is too easy to be complacent, to think we are listening and not hear, to think we are open-minded, but in fact, dismiss, to think we have created a welcoming community when many feel marginalized and overlooked. It is very clear to me that it is not enough to craft statements of inclusion or anti-bullying policies or even fair housing laws if the underlying culture, the underlying reflexes undermine those good intentions. At its root, kindness is a sense of abundance. Not only is there enough to go around, there's enough of whatever, physical or emotional resources, to be generous. We live with abundance in this community, even as we struggle with housing and homelessness and face the challenges of climate change. The abundance is within us. It is us and our capacity to flex, adapt, welcome, create something new. My commitment to the legacy of 2021 is a commitment to the abundant diversity of our community. My goal is that we shine a light on the communities within our community, not to highlight them as different, but to build a sense of belonging, celebrating the cultures within our city that weave a tapestry that we should daily behold and enjoy. We will seek in the coming months opportunities to invite and savor the colors, textures, tastes, sounds, beliefs, and ideas that make us whole. Just as a single act of kindness, like inviting a newcomer to dinner, can make you feel good and whole, so can we as a city welcome our increasing diversity to build a deep sense of belonging. In 2017, the City Council was compelled by the national climate to enact an ordinance to protect individual freedoms. This law aimed to reassure immigrants in our community, but also any person of color, of any gender identity, of any belief, that we would protect their right to live here safely. My goal is that ultimately this law is unnecessary, that we as a community and as a nation revel in one another, that we come together in joy. I began this talk with a reference to the public forum at City Council. As much as I experience hope in those sessions, I also share the frustration of the public. Solutions are hard. Tensions rise because we don't see a common path. It is hard to feel kind in those moments. This is why we have to work to reinforce our best intentions. Most of us grew up trained with simple rules of etiquette. Please and thank you, excuse me, and you're welcome. In some ways, we have drifted away from those conditioned reflexes. Let's bring some of that back. There's an advocacy group for the disabled in Eugene that uses the phrase, "Look me in the eye." It's an excellent admonition. Let's begin our conversations with the intention of paying attention. I have a former colleague who I quote frequently because he said he always tried to approach every conversation with a healthy curiosity. Curiosity will take you past most barriers of understanding. So as you break into your groups today, I ask you to begin not with conviction about what you know and believe, but with curiosity about what you will hear from others. Let's make this curiosity, this capacity to pay attention, this understanding of our own abundance become our abiding intention. And from that, we will live up to our goal to become a city of kindness.